Hello, we're finishing up the first part of inlaying the tabletop. You'll notice that there are some gaps here, and they have to be finished up. There's another one, and so there's several in this piece, and not unusual to have little gaps coming here and there, so they need to be fixed to make it look really nice and professional. So we do that with a combination of sawdust and glue and cutting out little more pieces of veneer and gluing them in place. So you can see here at the top we've sanded the piece smooth, and then we start filling it with glue, and then on top of the glue we place some sawdust. And that sawdust, you keep it because it's like really important. And then you fill in those gaps with some mahogany sawdust. Keep this stuff around you all the time. It's like gold. And you can see it doesn't look too bad. And when the final finishing's on, you won't see it at all. For these little gaps, you have to cut out a little piece of veneer from the original piece. Use a chisel to cut it nice and tiny to fit it in. And use some Titebond or regular wood glue. Don't use super glue. It goes everywhere. Here is me putting on the GoPro to show you exactly how I did this. First of all, go over with your fingernail up and down those inlays to find out where it goes over the tabletop so that it exceeds the groove. So if there are places, you have to sand those down. And then get some little bit of Titebond or whatever wood glue you use. And a little piece of little needle tool there. I forgot. And pick up the little piece of fitted veneer, put the glue on there, and put it in place. Tap it in nice and neat. And then it's got to be squeezed into place so that it fits perfect. So you get some wax paper first. Put it on there. And where is it? 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 Oh yeah, over here. Grab a clamp that's going to work. Nice C-clamp for this one. Come over, grab a little piece of scrap wood, set it on there. Open it up. Squeeze it on nice and tight so that that little piece is glued in there, and then you can sand it down flush with the rest of it because there should be just a little bit of overlay. So now we walk down, there's another little gap in the veneer. So once again, we come over with the chisel, cut the right size, maybe just a hair over, and grab those tweezers, that's what they're called. Grab the needle nose tweezers, grab it, and in this case, do a test fit. Make sure it covers the gap pretty well. This one did fairly well, maybe a little bit, but sanding will take care of that. And then in this case, it's so small, get a toothpick, put on some wood glue, put it into the gap, just so you don't have any squeeze out, a lot of squeeze out. With the tweezers, grab the little guy, put it in place, tap it in, now go again to be sure you put on a piece of wax paper to keep that glue from sticking to your scrap. Set your scrapper on there, and where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Go get the next C-clamp. Open it up. And it doesn't work because it's on the inner ring. It's not a deep enough throat, so upset, we go back to the rack, hang it up, always put your stuff away, grab something with a deep enough throat. One of these ought to work. Go ahead now, perfect. go ahead, set it, and squeeze that little bit in there, tight as you can get it. Really important. And go try to find the next ones and walk it around the rings. Here's a detail of the total squeeze. Got to be on there nice and tight. And here's what it looks like after you've done several of these things. Walked it all the way around. After you've walked it all the way around, go back through and make sure these things are absolutely tight to get all those little tiny bits of veneer in there. And then go around and give the whole thing a nice rub to see if there's any place where you've got overflow from the rings or any peel-ups or any kind of imperfections. Feel along that bead. Take a good hard look at every single thing you've done here, because this is your chance to fix any mistakes before you start finishing it. And take a look at the ends. I kind of don't like that, where the spline and there's a wormhole there, but I'll leave the wormhole. Looks good. The splines I think I'll leave too. And the other side, there's again looking at that spline. And then feel along the join between the two boards that we did last week. Make sure there's no gaps, and then feel all around the veneer and that. So there's tiny, tiny little gaps in there, just minuscule little gaps. And those will have to be fixed. You don't want the thing to look sloppy. Here's a close-up of the repaired veneer using the sawdust and glue method. Looks really good. I know it's a lot of extra work making sure all these imperfections, and they may be tiny, are fixed picture perfect, but it's worth it when you look at the finished piece.